Welcome back, everyone. It's Frank. American Eagle Rises for a Thursday. Yeah, I like my, blue shirt number 572. I like this one. It's a little more bluey. Yeah, I think this one's champ. Yeah, champ, cause we're champions on this channel. Hi guys. Yeah, so I got work. It's almost the weekend, all right? So I got off work a little early because I've been putting in a bunch of time, right? So even though it's early, I probably didn't recoup the hours. But so what does Frank got to do? He's like, I'm like, damn it, man, I got to do my grocery shopping. So I was going to go to Walmart. I just happened to be on 75. And I'm like, oh, you know what? It's better just go to Sam's Club. So I went there. And I got there before 2 o'clock. And oh my lord, it looked like it was like there was a big sale going on. And it was like Thursday, right? Because like Friday can get kind of crazy. So there was a ton of people there. And there was like 20 people in line at the service desk. Like, I don't know. That's why we have the Scan and Go app. I don't know if you guys have Sam's Club or whatever, those big box stores or whatever. I just go there because it's so much easier and it doesn't take that long. The good news is that there was barely anyone in the gas line. So, my car was actually pretty low. So, and it's like why am I saying this? Because I haven't gotten gas in Sam's Club I think it was Christmas. Because I think during the day at 11 a.m. or something like that. Yeah. I don't know. Ever since 2020, the gas line, it's ridiculously long, and I don't know. It used to be so much easier to get in and out, and they have only one way. So now to get in, you gotta go through the entire front section of the place, because then you gotta loop around. So thankfully, it didn't take so long to get in the line, and there was no one in the line. So hey. There was people at the pumps, but, didn't have to wait. And normally sometimes it's like 10 plus minutes of waiting. I ain't waiting. So, yeah. And then I had to do a couple other things. Now it's a little bit after 7, not quite 7:30. And I went to the post box down, because it's like the communal one down there. And I forgot, I got some silver, you guys. This is in a different package. I don't know if is it coming up that well? Yeah. I think, there's the cover. There we go. Yeah, okay. Presidential Silver Medals Program. Yeah, guys, I'm a sucker for silver coins. I used to buy a lot more. Okay, so this one's great, and actually we'll spend just a little time, little card, and give them in clamshells. I'm not really a big fan of green, but they color code them for all the other different programs, so it's kind of cool. However, we got a clamshell, but it's one of my historical favorite presidents, and I hope he's one of yours too. Yeah, Theodore Roosevelt. So President Trump is considered a populist president. And, probably the last one. You could argue, although I wouldn't, you could kind of say maybe Reagan was probably the closest. But he was if anyone had the definition of a populist president, is definitely Teddy Roosevelt. You guys should look up the history of this guy. This guy, he had the way he was early on, and he was struggling with some of his health stuff. And, he just punished himself getting through all this stuff. And definitely worked out for him. But, Yeah, this guy, even though he might have been, his family had some wealth behind him, but but he definitely was he was definitely a person of the people, and he really wanted to root out all the corruption, and there was a lot of corruption going on then. He took on all those big businesses and trusts, and we all love President Donald Trump here. All I hope, please, Mr. President, can you be like this guy just a little bit more? Can you break up Google? Can you break up Facebook, Amazon? All the big stupid media companies. He could be poised to do some of that stuff, and I hope so, guys. So yeah, a good history thing. Definitely. This president was probably one of the first America First guys. He brought us in the 20th century. We were a little backwards when he came in. Boy, man, he had a vision of the future, and he brought us in the 20th century very early in the 20th century. But the Panama Canal definitely brought us, he focused on the Navy, and without him, who knows what the hell this country, we might have been kind of more backwards. But anyway, yeah, guys, I love silver coins. Anyway, yeah, how you guys been doing? Quick market recap. I had the wrong window open. We're always here. Yeah, so real quick, the Treasury yield barely went up, and the DXY, relative strength of the dollar, did go up. It's kind of pausing here, so it's kind of plateauing. We're going to keep an eye on that. The SPY gained a little bit. Bitcoin has been drifting back up. It's just under 120K. Gold slightly ended down. Silver got a little bit. All my miners just started barfing. That's what happens with them. So yeah, talking about Bitcoin, I think Ethereum kind of hit another old time high, and I think XRP. So maybe I sold a little early on some of my. I don't know. I still have XRP, and I still have Bitcoin. They're on my hard wallet. I think I showed you guys that little black thing that's under wraps over here, along with my 2A stuff. Okay. Yeah, we believe that here. We believe in our 2A tools here too. So we love gold, silver, and 2A tools. A couple other things around here. Where were we going here with this one? Yeah, so America First News, one of the first things, and it looks like Mr. Trump might do it. So even you haters, you communists that are maybe on the Gen Zombie version, I mean, they're all over the place. Doesn't matter what age you are, but there might be an executive order that Trump signed to allow 401ks to buy crypto. Like, I don't know if it's going to happen, but if you haven't already bought crypto, I don't know, man. I kind of feel like if it happens, I'm going to feel like crap because I just sold some of my Bitcoin. Let's not be too greedy, Frank, all right? Yeah. I still have some, but who knows? I mean, it may not happen right away, meaning like, even though the order would go through, it doesn't mean like the industry just flips on a dime. They'll slowly, right? Because 401k will be like, all right, we got, here's the Bitcoin fund and this and that. So if you ask me, I would have a hard time finding any haters for this. I don't know who. I think the big banks actually, as much as I hate to say it, I don't want to say like your BlackRocks, but definitely like your Vanguards, because they do a lot of retirement things. Probably Fidelity. Um, they make money on the transactions, and they make like minuscule. I mean, they might some of the funds might have but they just want to make like a few pennies, But when you have millions of people transacting trillions of dollars, those little pennies add up. So, right? So they don't necessarily care if it goes up, down. They want more flow. They want more traffic, right? They want, more transactions. That's all they care about. Whether it goes up or down. That's just like all your stockbrokers or your whatever, about places that, they don't care if the stock goes up or down. They just want you to buy, right? You either buying or selling. It's kind of like a real estate agent in a certain way. Although real estate agents, they get a certain percentage of the. But imagine if you just got paid by how many a certain fixed amount, and so the more houses you sold, the more your transaction. It's probably how it should be. Anyway, we're not here to talk about that. Yeah, we're already kind of going all over the map here. And why did you guys do this? They did it again. I had something really good on here. Darn it. Oh, it was the Senate. So another, we'll call it another Trump win. But it's really an America win. I mean, even you haters. I mean, yeah, I know you're hating. You don't like them. I get it, right? But eventually, this is gonna come help. This is gonna come help you. You just won't see it. Even when it happens for you, you won't really notice it, and you definitely won't. You won't definitely. What is this? Donald Trump's approval rating flips with Gen. It's from Newsweek. What are you talking about? I love the guy. I'm Gen X. All right. If any generation likes Trump, it's definitely Gen X, because Gen X is like, yeah, teach those kids a lesson, and while you're at it, why don't you teach the boomers a lesson? Yeah. But, yeah, it was like a spending cut. It wasn't a lot. I don't know, what, 9 billion, 10 billion? I don't know, something like that. But, hey, man, every little spending cut's going to help, because, man, we got more cutting to do. Hopefully the Dems don't just, oh, hey, you cut 9 billion here. Oh, we need to spend 8 billion of it, right? So, that's another executive order that Donald Trump should do. Like, hey, for every dollar we spend, we got to cut too. Like that would, I think he did that with like regulations or something like that. But yeah, guys, if you guys don't know, especially for you haters, I'll try to educate here a little bit. So when the government doesn't spend a lot of money, it doesn't have to tax its citizens. And whether, there's direct taxation, right? That's like, income tax, and, hey, well, I'm a bum and I don't pay any taxes. Well, you actually do. You just don't know, right? Like, if you're paying rent, you're definitely paying property taxes. You're just not paying your property tax. You're paying your landlords, because that just rolls right down to you. Actually, to be honest, if you want cheaper housing, you may want to consider buying. Now, again, apartments are smaller, so that's why people fixate on them. But let me get back to this. So the government, when the deficit's too big, that's one way that they can recoup some funds, is direct taxation somehow, right? Well, the favorite one, and the one that the Federal Reserve actually likes to do, it's called deficit spending. So the only way that the government has been able to allow this is that the government will write a bond, right? It's actually an IOU, right? It's a big IOU with like an interest payment, right? So it's kind of like a promissory note, a mortgage, if you will, credit card, if that helps the analogy. So, and then the Federal Reserve comes and buys it. So, but the Federal Reserve doesn't have the money, right? They lend it to the government, right? So let's say the government needs $1 trillion, right? I need $1 trillion. All right, well, interest rates are 4%. Give it to me, give me. Right? So the Treasury will issue a $1 trillion bond. It's not one, it's a whole bunch and a series of them, but for this purpose, we'll just say that, right? So it's $1 trillion, 4%. And the Federal Reserve's like, oh, yeah. Okay, hang on, beep, beep, bop, bop, boop. Because they don't have the money. They just print it out of thin air. And they just give to the government, and then the government gives the bond, right? So the Federal Reserve's like, ah, ha, ha! Now the citizens have to pay through future taxes. Or it's called inflation. What? You mean like the inflation of what happened to like burgers are now like, instead of like $3 a pound, it's $10 a pound, eggs are up. So yeah, inflation is actually a hidden tax because most items in a stabilized economy, especially if the value of your whatever you're trading back and forth, we'll call them currency units or units of exchange is really a better description. If those cannot be easily, come up with, that's why precious metals was a thing, because you couldn't just, you had to go to the mine and mine it. It was hard, so you couldn't really add a lot to the monetary supply with all that, right? So you had a very stable fix of things, right? So there you go, right? Like if you want inflation to come down, right, you want spending to go down, and then that's taxation. So it's basically a feedback loop, right? And then to make matters worse, inflation doesn't affect everyone equally. To be honest, the people at the bottom of the social economic, they actually are affected the most because the way that inflation works, it enables the person that gets the money first, they still have the purchasing power. And then every person thereafter, it goes through the chain, right? They keep getting rid of it, getting rid of it. So the person, it's kind of like, we'll call it the, holding the bag, right? So the people way at the top, they don't care about inflation. Hell, they get more power through inflation, right? And then the people that the more poor among us, they get even more right. Now, if you're utterly at the bottom, you're already poor, well, that's fine. More inflation, you're just like, I don't give a shit. I don't have any money anyway. You just, right? It's all of us people either kind of at the low or in the middle, right? That's why the middle class is just basically gone nowadays. It's gone. But it's not equal as well, meaning everything doesn't inflate at the same percentage as well, because it's different things are needed more than others. So that's why food inflation gets hit the most, is because especially when you don't have, right, the rich don't care about food inflation. They care more about their assets inflation, right? Their assets go up in price. They're like, hey, cool, right? And they get to sell it, right, to what? 401k. Oh my God, right? But as a person, as inflation gets worse and worse, you rein in your spending and you try to spend it only where you need. So more and more people, right? I need food, right? I don't need a big screen TV, right? So that's why food is very sensitive to inflation, right? What else? Gasoline, right? If you got to go to work, and that goes up. And what's even vicious about that is when oil prices go up, right? Gasoline it's not a 1-to-1, right? You got to refine crude oil. So as much as we buy crude oil from a different country, it's actually the refining process is where it's at. The United States has a bunch of refineries here. We have more area to get crude oil from, which we do. We're just not tapping into. But anyway, how is everything going from point A to point B, right? It's on a truck, right? Trucks need gas. So guess what? Anything even food related, when oil prices go up or when fuel goes up, fuel costs go up, your food's going to go up whether inflation is zero or not. So when you have inflation and energy prices going up and food just it becomes unobtainium. So anyway, a little detour into that. But I think that's real important as much as we focus on America first and, we kind of, bring out Trump here because we just like to rile all you guys up, right? You guys want to call me a Trump tard or, oh, he's an idiot or whatnot. That's fine, man. Go ahead, man. I mean, I can basically retire now if I really wanted to, but we never know what tomorrow can hold, right? Like what, a decision today, you might regret it a couple years later, right? So we're not. But yeah, guys, go ahead, keep bashing me. I really don't care because I don't know any of you real haters. And my diehard people, man, I know them because they're on here every day. We got commenters on here, and we got people that want to celebrate. And I find out that the people that are America First, it's not like they're celebrating America First or even Trump to that matter. They're actually, they really love and being American, and they're real proud of that, right? As much as we're all flawed and we got lots of things to work on here as Americans, okay? No one's perfect, but we want, right? We want what's best for people, right? That's why a lot of people that I know that are America First, it's like they take a lot of things in strides as much as, I know a lot of them struggle with, day to day. I struggle with it too. It's like, society at large doesn't want us, especially if you're straight white man or just being a man in general. If you like your country, oh my gosh. Like, again, guys, I don't get it. Only in America, only other Americans would hate America. That just, that's the communist propaganda that has been served. But I'm just saying that because there's a lot of people that are out there and they're very proud. They want what's best for, not just for themselves, but for this country and the future of this country, which, includes you, my haters, right? So, with that said, I hope you guys have a good Fridays on coming up. I don't want to jinx it here, but I heard some kind of disturbing things at GM that a little close to the bigger group that I am at General Motors. And I actually forgot to mention that on Tuesday, I'm part of our advanced vehicle development for our electrical module bracket teams. And I got absorbed into a different team. It was actually a brand new team. And a couple other folks that I know from my direct manager, right? He has a team, right? So from that direct team got moved into this new group. So essentially my job is no different than what I've been doing. So it's essentially the same. I'm just, I have a different boss, right? And I'm in a different group that's focused on something else. So my day-to-day thing is not much different. But what happened just the last couple of days, I've been hearing like I'll call him our vice president, had all these meetings, bunch of directors going in and out, and the one HR person, which we never see around, only for certain activities. And Reddit was saying something about this week. So, again, I don't want to say I'm safe, right? But, I don't know. I don't think my possibilities are that high. They're not zero, unfortunately. We all are employees. So if you're an employee, There's never a 0% chance unless they need more people in the time. But it's always a time element, right? You got a job now. You got a job today, right? Doesn't mean 2 weeks from now you're going to have that job. So, and lately GM has been doing this, oh, hey, we'll send you an email at 5 a.m. on a Friday. You know, we're there on Thursday. Can you at least give us a heads up? Like if I'm going to lose my job, can you at least tell me, like, Thursday at, like, lunchtime, right? And then I'll pack all the remaining little stuff I have and be like, hey, here's the laptop, here's this. And when I go home, I don't have to get up early in the morning. But I don't know. We'll see what happens, guys. So I might have some juicy detail, but this also could mean some type of consolidation. And it may not happen tomorrow, but it might happen soon. So, with that said, 26 minutes. Wow, I thought this was going to be a quick show. No. So, we found the stop button, all right? So, we'll see you one way or the other tomorrow, all right? I hope you guys all have a good day, even my haters, all right? I love you no matter what. I hope you have a good day, all right? See you again. Bye.